Don Kirshner's Rock Power from fucking Osco Drugs back in Chicago Heights. And I rode my bike and fucking saved like $5 and bought that album. And it had Alice Cooper, Doobie Brothers, Steppenwolf, fucking, you know, a few other kind of heavy, had Black Sabbath Paranoid. And that was it. That was the game changer. Brought it home and put it on my little record player in my bedroom. I was like probably fucking 10, 11, and that was the first album I ever bought. And I knew then, I was like, yeah, I like these heavier songs. And I'm like, the ones that are like, I think there was like, you know, some lighter shit on there. And I'm like, I like this Black Sabbath band and Alice Cooper. I like the way they sound. And that was, I knew then that I was destined to burn in hell.
Beware the wrath of Satan.
First show I ever saw was at the Hollywood Sportatorium in 1978 with the Doobie Brothers. And yeah, it was funny, Kiss was there like a month earlier, and I think I was like 13, and I was a little apprehensive about going to see Kiss when I was 13, because I was like, oh man, you know, it's a big concert at a big auditorium, you know. And then my buddy's like, we can go see the Doobie Brothers, that should be a little like, you know, calmer. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be a good first concert. So me and my mom and dad drove me and my little buddy to fucking the Doobie Brothers, and it was cool. It was cool.
Viral seizure, this is burning within. Virogenic lesion, twice on the ground.
The first riff, Calling Dr. Love by Kiss. That was it. Buddy of mine showed me like those 4 chords that comprise that riff, and he's like, and these are 4 chords that are in a lot of heavy metal songs and rock songs. So I was like, okay, cool, you know, I'll learn these 4 riffs. And yeah, Calling Dr. Love, that was the first thing I really messed with. And then yeah, you know, graduated to some AC/DC, I think soon after that. My first guitar was an Epiphone piece of shit, single coil pickup, 1960s guitar, probably worth about $5 grand now if I would have kept it. But got that, had it for like a year and a half, and then my parents got me a Gibson Les Paul for my birthday, for like my 15th birthday, and got rid of the Epiphone piece of shit and had the Gibson Les Paul, recorded Syzygial Miscreancy with that guitar, recorded Terra Symmetry with that guitar, recorded the 94 Anthropophagy demo with that guitar. All the rhythms anyway were all with that guitar. That was, yeah, 77 Les Paul, stock, chrome-plated humbucker pickups, didn't change a thing.
Hell yeah.
That was a local Gainesville, Florida, local cable access channel, a show called After Hours. And the girl Rhonda that did the interview, she obviously wasn't metal, and you know, I was, so it went like it went. She asked basic questions, and I gave her the metal answer that was required for that interview. And yeah, it was a good time, and she enjoyed it, I enjoyed it. I don't think she realized that you know, what she was getting into when we did it, but I was glad for the exposure, and I was glad to talk about HELLWITCH and let people know that we were, you know, the first band in Gainesville to do fucking extreme metal.
Just, you know, just kill people dead.
That sounds great.
It was at the Rocky Point Beach Resort.
Yeah, that's
it was
right.
at a resort, yeah, in Tampa, which was kind of like a motel. It was a pretty, you know, and they had like a little fake beach by the water, and it was pretty cool. And I mean, again, back then, for us, it was just like a Florida kind of, not local, but you know, it was just some fucking unknown bands all getting together. I mean, I had heard of Morbid Angel maybe 6 months before that. Massacre, I had only heard of a couple months before that. And then there was Executioner, which went on to be Obituary, and they were there. And yeah, that was a pretty, as it turned out to be, a legendary show.
It's the guys from Verathron walking up on us.
Yeah, there we go, Verathron. But yeah, that was a legendary show, and I remember, you know, that was the first time I had ever played outdoors during the day, and that was it was a little bit, you know, well, I mean, I was still in my early 20s, let's just say, so it wasn't that brutal, but it was cool to see Morbid Angel and Massacre, and Cam came up and did Infernal Death with us, because we were already playing Infernal Death and during Hellwitch shows. We were covering Infernal Death starting in like '85, so it was cool to play with Cam and you know, see Massacre play and see Morbid Angel play, and you know, Trey had the two-tone red and black leather pants on, and you know, everybody dressed in a very unique style then. It was a very, very original, you know, there was no trend, there was no idea of what was right and what was wrong, and everybody just dressed and looked however the fuck they wanted, and it was a beautiful, beautiful experience, man. I won't forget it. I'll never forget it. You know, I don't want to be cliche, but I mean, you know, I mean, I love even now, like within the last week, going to practice and hanging out with my bandmates and going through the songs and being fucking metal and having a good time. And that's all I really ever, you know, care about is playing music and having fun and hanging out with guys who are like-minded and into brutal metal and, you know, good musicianship and keeping things fucking tight, keeping things original, you know, having a standard that is what I like to think is a little higher than most other bands for quality of musicianship, quality of songwriting, and yeah, that's about it. I mean, I like to try to stay original and stay creative and keep doing a little bit fucking better and a little more extreme than I did, you know, when I was a little younger, which is usually the opposite. Bands tend to slow down and get more basic in a lot of cases when they get older, but not for me.
They conquer in dark light, a reason to investigate. Subverting the incursion, they will not stop their eternity.